So the Shills are having a little bit of a hard time right now when it comes to Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet. Obviously, this is the video game that's coming out from Naughty Dog that was announced at the Game Awards that everybody and their mother is having an opinion about right now. Well, apparently this game's trailers, and this is trailers across the board, by the way. It's not just from Sony. It's not just from Naughty Dog. Every single trailer that is on YouTube right now is being massively ratioed, to the point where now all the shills are coping like, what the hell is going on? What's wrong with you guys? How could you hate this stunning and brave game? Clearly, you're not allowed to have an opinion about the trailer, but I'm allowed to have an opinion about the trailer. It's like, bro, the people are losing their minds.
Jordan?
Tell me something good.
Well, you're right, it checks out. He's hiding out around the Superior Moon.
Excellent.
How is that excellent? He's next to fucking Superior. No one has left that planet in over 600 years.
You know, sometimes I really wonder to myself, how the hell did we get here? But looking through the last few years over in gaming history tells me everything I need to know as to why we are currently here in the first place. So Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet is the prime example of what happens when you really mess up your first impression. When you decide to release a trailer that you expect everybody to love, and you completely and utterly just ignore the fact that people are over this crap. Now, granted, this game was starting development in 2020 when everybody was loving it, right? And not everybody, you know what I mean, not gamers, but ultimately people in the industry, the media, everybody was loving the diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense because it was the ultimate grift. But now that that grift is dying, well, it's not our fault that this game was made in 2020 and now it has to come out in 2025. So let's get into this article, guys, or 2026, whatever, from Phantom Polls. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says Naughty Dog Shills are not handling the reaction to the Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet trailer very well and are attempting to cope to the mass dislike of the trailers. The trailer on PlayStation's YouTube channel currently has 1.7 million views with 86,000 likes and 203,000 dislikes. On Naughty Dog's channel, the game has 1.1 million views with 60,000 likes and 144,000 dislikes. And the Naughty Dog shills are not taking it well at all. Over on the Naughty Dog subreddit, which I gotta imagine, oh my god, the Naughty Dog subreddit must be a clusterfuck right now, but that's neither here nor there. DRG South implored others to not look at the like to dislike ratio, but rather the likes to views ratio. Oh, okay. So that's what we're doing now, the likes to views ratio. Oh, I got it. That's what you call the coping metric. Yeah, let's ignore what the majority of people are saying and let's just focus on what the minority of people are saying compared to the views, even though you want to completely forget that a lot of those views are from people who dislike the trailers. So like, why would you focus on one metric of the dislike, but you won't focus on the other? It is what it is. Then he says that the user wrote, the fans are excited. People disliking were never gonna buy the game anyway. This game will be amazing. Bro, this is cope. Oh my god. This is next level shillery that's happening here right now. The fans are excited. So you mean to tell me all 144,000 dislikes or all 200 some odd thousand dislikes, not a single one of them were fans of Naughty Dog games? Are you serious right now? And then on top of that too, people disliking were never gonna buy the game anyway. I would argue that people who are shilling for the game were never gonna buy the game anyway, because a lot of the mainstream who are shilling, a lot of the journalists who are shilling, a lot of the YouTube accounts that shill, guess what? A lot of them get free copies anyway. So they're not really going to buy the game anyway. And then to say this game will be amazing, I wonder why it's okay for you to say that the game is going to be amazing from a trailer, but we can't say that the game looks like it's going to suck from a trailer. Why are you given the ability to say this, but we can't say the opposite? I wonder why that is. He then shared a comparison of Intergalactic's trailer with Helldivers 2 and the Mafia Old Country. Based on the above screenshot, only 4.89% of people who viewed the Intergalactic trailer gave it a like. In comparison, 5.40% of people who watched the Helldivers 2 trailer gave it a like. Mafia the Old Country was liked by 4.35% of all the people who viewed it. So even using this individual's argument, it doesn't even work for Helldivers 2. For clarity's sake, The current ratios are 5.05% on the PlayStation trailer and 5.45% on the Naughty Dog trailer. Nevertheless, the responses to the posts were indeed predictable. One wrote, just ignore these people. The way they should ignore something they aren't into. All they want is attention. There's a million games out there if they don't like what Naughty Dog is doing. There's plenty of popular games that aren't my thing. You know how I handle them? I don't play them. Well, guess what? We handle it in the same exact fashion. We do it in the same exact way. The only thing is you don't like it, right? Because we have platforms where we actually talk about video games. You guys, you just pretend to talk about video games when in fact you're just fucking shills. But we talk about everything, negative, positive, and everything in between. Unfortunately, when it comes to AAA gaming, there's a lot of negative to talk about. But we also talk about the positives. But the positives tend to get ignored for the negatives, especially by people like you, because like you say, oh, I just don't play them. That's how I deal with it. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you actively do everything to try to compare your shill games to the more popular games. You're like, gee, people are chuds. They're just racist, misogynist. That's why they like those games. Yeah, that's how you handle it. Another wrote, just let these people be miserable. This game benefits you way more than them, so power to you. I just hate people on the internet sometimes. I like how people think that because we talk about the negative issues happening in the gaming industry, that is somehow synonymous with us being miserable. It's fucking hilarious because in all actuality, I've seen a lot of shills be absolutely miserable to no end. Miserable, especially when people start downvoting and talking bad about the game that they're shilling for. I see them lose their minds over it. Whereas we just talk about the shit that's happening in the gaming industry and you don't like it. Still baffling that 180,000 people will be so mic'd over a bald head, they go out of their way to dislike a YouTube video. Like it's a space game. Hello, Ripley. I get they're beyond sense, and this happens to so many games now, but yikes, another row. I like how the people are trying to bring up Ripley all the time as if she wasn't feminine. You know what I mean? Like this character that's shown in this trailer is clearly not feminine in the slightest, but Ripley was and acted that way and showcased her emotions. So it's like, what are we doing? Edit nasty comments with thousands of likes too. Reminds me of the reaction to Angela in Silent Hill 2, which eventually released to universal acclaim from critics and players, so the user added in an edit. Just because people found the character ugly didn't mean that the game was necessarily going to be bad. It's the same situation here. People are roasting the character, sure. People are roasting what they see on screen because that's the first impression. It's not our fault that you're giving a bad first impression, but we all hope that the game actually ends up being good. But unfortunately, most of the time, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? That's just not the case at all. So when it came to Silent Hill 2, I gave it some positives, I gave it some negatives, but ultimately it was a pretty okay game. When it comes to being a full remake of Silent Hill 2, that's where it becomes a little bit of a watered down version in my opinion. But yes, the game was fine. Nothing was wrong with it in terms of the actual gameplay. Performance was a little janky, but that's because it's Unreal Engine and they don't know how to utilize it, I guess. But ultimately, you know, like people actually liked the game. But the people who liked the game, guess what they said about Angela? She's still fucking weird looking. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't look traumatized. She didn't look like, you know, the Angela from Silent Hill 2, who was a sexual assault victim, traumatized, bags under her eyes. You know what I mean? Older than she actually is in terms of her look. She didn't look like that. She looked like a TikToker who was ready to film a video in the cemetery. That's how she looked. And that was my biggest issue with Angela. I don't give a fuck that she was ugly. I just cared that she didn't look like she was a traumatized victim enough. Then Piper, another book this crusade for the grifters to cash in on, bashing a game they had absolutely no intention of ever buying or playing. If it sells well, it'll be a mass conspiracy to push wokeness. If it undersells, prepare to hear, get woke, go broke for weeks on end until the next crusade starts. Listen, that's not our fault. It's not our fault most of your games go broke. That's not our fault. Can You Guys See Me posted a Naughty Dog reveal was a true early holiday gift. Fuck the haters, they obviously know what they are doing, and this game is going to blow us away in ways that only Naughty Dog can. Yeah, I'm sure you wish you could get blown by Naughty Dog. Imagine actually pressing the dislike button over this trailer. It's so weird. Looks amazing. I can't wait. How does it look amazing? Just like you want us to question, why does it look bad? Which we can obviously answer. Why does it look amazing to you? It's incredible that these people are allowed to look at a trailer that's a cinematic trailer and come up with all the reasons why the game looks amazing with no gameplay whatsoever. But we are not allowed to look at a cinematic trailer and say, wow, this is a pretty bad first impression. It looks bad based off the cinematic trailer. We're not allowed to do that. But they are allowed to do the complete opposite. It's so stupid. So at the end of the day, man, shills are going to shill. It is what it is. And this trailer is just a really bad first impression, in my opinion. Showcasing this to people, most people are not going to connect with this. That's just a fact. And hopefully when the gameplay trailers come out, maybe it'll be something that can save this game. But as of right now, the first impressions are really bad. for the majority of people. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.